Let's discuss key regulations in product disposal in return management process. Regulations for product disposal and return management can vary depending on the product, the industry, and the location. Businesses need to be aware of these regulations to ensure safe and sustainable disposal and return practices. Here are the 20 common regulations that businesses need to be aware of when managing product returns and disposal. 1. Hazardous waste regulations. These regulations require businesses to properly dispose of any hazardous waste, including batteries, chemicals, and other materials that can be harmful to the environment. To comply with these regulations, businesses must properly store hazardous waste, label it appropriately, and transport it to a licensed hazardous waste disposal facility. Key personnel involved in hazardous waste disposal include environmental health and safety, that is, EHS managers, and waste disposal technicians. IT software functionalities used include waste tracking and management software. 2. Environmental protection regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the disposal of waste and products that can harm the environment. Businesses must identify the types of waste that require special handling and disposal, such as electronics, chemicals, and batteries. They must also implement best practices for recycling and composting to reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills. Key personnel involved in environmental protection include sustainability managers and environmental consultants. IT software functionalities used include environmental management systems and sustainability reporting software. 3. Occupational safety and health administration, that is, OSHA regulations. These regulations require businesses to provide a safe work environment for their employees and follow specific safety protocols for the handling and disposal of hazardous materials. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement safety training programs, provide personal protective equipment, that is, PPE, to employees, and conduct regular safety inspections. Key personnel involved in OSHA compliance include EHS managers and safety officers. IT software functionalities used include safety management software and incident reporting systems. 4. Consumer protection regulations. These regulations protect consumers from fraudulent or deceptive business practices, including misleading product descriptions and false advertising. To comply with these regulations, businesses must provide accurate product information, including ingredients, expiration dates, and potential hazards. They must also have clear and transparent return policies and procedures. Key personnel involved in consumer protection include customer service representatives and legal advisors. IT software functionalities used include customer service software and e-commerce platforms. 5. Data protection regulations. These regulations require businesses to protect the privacy and security of customer data, including personal and financial information. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement data security protocols, such as encryption and firewalls, and train employees on data protection best practices. Key personnel involved in data protection include IT security managers and privacy officers. IT software functionalities used include data encryption and backup software. 6. Food and Drug Administration, that is, FDA regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the disposal of food and drug products that can be harmful to public health. Businesses must properly store and dispose of expired or recalled food and drug products to prevent contamination. Key personnel involved in FDA compliance include quality assurance managers and regulatory affairs specialists. IT software functionalities used include quality management systems and product lifecycle management software. 7. Recycling regulations. These regulations require businesses to recycle certain materials, such as paper, plastics, and glass, and properly dispose of any non-recyclable waste. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement recycling programs and provide employees with training on recycling best practices. Key personnel involved in recycling include sustainability managers and waste disposal technicians. IT software functionalities used include recycling tracking and management software. 8. Product liability regulations. These regulations hold businesses responsible for any harm or injury caused by their products and require them to take appropriate measures to protect consumers. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement quality control measures such as product testing and inspection, and have clear warning labels on products. Key personnel involved in product liability include legal advisors and risk management specialists. IT software functionalities used include quality management systems and product lifecycle management software. 9. Transportation regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the transportation and disposal of hazardous materials and other regulated products. To comply with these regulations, businesses must properly label and package hazardous materials for transport and use licensed carriers for transport. Key personnel involved in transportation compliance include logistics managers and EHS managers. IT software functionalities used include transportation management systems and hazardous materials tracking software. End-of-life regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the disposal of products at the end of their useful life. To comply with these regulations, businesses must develop end-of-life management plans, such as take-back programs and recycling initiatives. Key personnel involved in end-of-life management include sustainability managers and waste disposal technicians. IT software functionalities used include product lifecycle management software and recycling tracking software. Health and safety regulations. These regulations require businesses to provide a safe and healthy work environment for their employees and follow specific guidelines for handling hazardous materials. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement safety protocols, such as hazard communication programs and emergency response plans. Key personnel involved in health and safety compliance include EHS managers and safety officers. IT software functionalities used include safety management software and incident reporting systems. Waste management regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the storage, handling, and disposal of waste materials. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement waste management plans and provide employees with training on waste handling best practices. Key personnel involved in waste management include sustainability managers and waste disposal technicians. IT software functionalities used include waste tracking and management software. Fair Packaging and Labeling Act regulations. These regulations require businesses to accurately label their products and packaging to provide consumers with important information, including product ingredients and expiration dates. To comply with these regulations, businesses must have clear and accurate labeling on all products and packaging. Key personnel involved in labeling compliance include product managers and regulatory affairs specialists. IT software functionalities used include product labeling software and product lifecycle management software. Securities and Exchange Commission, that is, SEC regulations. These regulations require businesses to provide accurate and transparent financial information to investors and follow specific guidelines for the disposal of financial documents. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement financial reporting and disclosure protocols and have secure document disposal procedures. Key personnel involved in SEC compliance include finance managers and legal advisors. IT software functionalities used include financial reporting software and document management systems. Electronic waste regulations. These regulations require businesses to properly dispose of electronic waste, including computers, cell phones, and other electronic devices. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement e-waste management programs and provide employees with training on e-waste handling best practices. Key personnel involved in e-waste management include sustainability managers and IT asset managers. IT software functionalities used include e-waste tracking and management software. Material safety data sheets, that is, MSDS regulations. These regulations require businesses to maintain detailed information on the composition and hazards of the products they handle and dispose of. To comply with these regulations, businesses must create and maintain MSDSs for all regulated products and provide employees with access to this information. Key personnel involved in MSDS compliance include EHS managers and regulatory affairs specialists. IT software functionalities used include MSDS management software and product lifecycle management software. Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, that is, RCRA regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the disposal of hazardous waste and other regulated materials. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement hazardous waste management plans and provide employees with training on hazardous waste handling best practices. Key personnel involved in RCRA compliance include EHS managers and waste disposal technicians. IT software functionalities used include hazardous waste tracking and management software. Waste reduction regulations. These regulations encourage businesses to reduce waste and promote sustainable practices, including recycling and composting. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement waste reduction programs and provide employees with training on waste reduction best practices. Key personnel involved in waste reduction include sustainability managers and waste reduction coordinators. IT software functionalities used include waste tracking and management software and sustainability reporting software. Clean Air Act regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the disposal of pollutants that can harm the environment and public health. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement air pollution control measures, such as emissions monitoring and control systems. Key personnel involved in Clean Air Act compliance include environmental consultants and EHS managers. IT software functionalities used include emissions tracking and management software. Clean Water Act regulations. These regulations require businesses to follow specific guidelines for the disposal of wastewater and other materials that can harm the environment and public health. To comply with these regulations, businesses must implement wastewater treatment and discharge plans and monitor their wastewater discharges. Key personnel involved in Clean Water Act compliance include environmental consultants and EHS managers. IT software functionalities used include wastewater tracking and management software. By understanding and following these regulations, businesses can ensure they are properly managing product returns and disposal and avoiding any potential legal or environmental issues. We really thank you for your time spent on this session. Feel free to meet our partners by sending an inquiry email to contact us at t24global.com. Most of our partners have 15 to 20 years industry experience. So, please get in touch for any quick, managed business process and IT consulting needs.